ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's the moment you've probably never realised you've been waiting for. Chris Froome, at 68 kilos, is taking on Lance Armstrong at 71 kilos. We've taken data from the 2004 time trial of Lance Armstrong and overlaid it onto our Zwift man, who is now Armstrong. And on the left, we've got Chris Froome's data that we've taken from his FTP power that we've used from Strava. Now, there was a moment in Strava when they did a little bit of an oopsie. They revealed pro riders' data, even though it was private. So we managed to find that information and overlay it onto Chris Froome on his Alpe de Zwift effort. Froome versus Armstrong. Who is going to take it? Well, I mean, have a guess. You've got Armstrong doped up to his eyeballs. We've got Froome. Technically, hasn't cheated. There is no evidence. I'm not saying he has or he hasn't. I'm just saying that is the facts. And we've got Froome hovering at an average of 6.5 watts a kilo. We've got Armstrong at 7 watts a kilo. Now, Armstrong is a slightly heavier rider, so is that 0.5 per watt per kilo going to make a difference? Well, let's find out. We're already at turn 15. We're coming up to turn 15 for Armstrong. He's going to hang a left here. And yeah, it's pretty close still. It's pretty close. But because of the average that they're holding up there, we know that Armstrong is not going to tire. He's not going to tie up. And I think it's clear that he's going to win it. It's just a matter of by how much. Now, our editor felt the need to put this bit of B-roll in. I think it was just to show how beautiful Alpe de Zwift looks in nighttime conditions. Maybe it was to show that the graffiti and the realism of the climbs, but the tunnels look stunning. Rendering is beautiful on it. I really don't know what else he wants me to say about this piece of footage, but it is stunning. It looks more like an aquarium than it does a tunnel on the Alpe. All right, so Armstrong, left-hander, 13 hairpins to go. 21 hairpins in total. I don't know the average gradient up here. Maybe I should have found that out. Someone in the editing department just write it down there for me so I know. Average gradient of 12%. Could be, I don't know. But each of these 21 corners is probably named after 5 or 6 riders that win on Alpe d'Huez now. The first 21 riders all got their own hairpin named after them, but obviously the more times we go up it, the more riders and winners we get. So I guess in 100 years' time that it's going to be called, that the corners are going to have names, 5 or 6 names on them, I guess. So as we're filming this, as we're going up this hill, we're going to be cutting to various parts of the Alpe where iconic moments in cycling happened. I think Alpe d'Huez is probably the most iconic climb in cycling. It's probably the most iconic moment in cycling when the Tour goes up the Alpe. So this right here, this place here is where Armstrong gave the other riders, Ulrich, who was the other one? Balocchi, I think he was up there, where he turned around, he gave him the look, and he gave him the big, and he just went. It was so impressive. So impressive. I mean, granted, again, doped off his eyeballs, but I think they all were. So to be able to do that, you would not get that in this day and age. You would not get someone turning around, giving him a look, and then just going. And it just racing's changed, man. It's impressive that he did that. And the racing today is impressive because they're maintaining and holding watts for a longer period of time, and it's just so well measured nowadays. But back then it was more heart and more grit and more determination and more dope and more blood bags. And because of that, it meant that people could just smash it off the front. I'm not condoning it. All right, let's not get into all that. I'm not condoning it one iota. I'm just commenting. So our editor again thought it would be a good idea to leave this on the screen for as long as possible. I'm just going to sit here until it finishes in awkward silence.
This is not right. This is wrong. This is not right. This is wrong.
So I find it, quite frankly, quite disrespectful. 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 Disrespectful.
Back to the action. Okay. So Armstrong's heading up for the 6th turn to go. So after this one, there's 6 turns, or it is the 6th turn, should I say. This Alpe looks brutal. Leave a comment below. Let me know if you have ever ridden Alpe d'Huez. Let me know what time you did up there. I'm not talking about Alpe de Zwift. I'm talking about Alpe d'Huez. But if you have ridden Alpe de Zwift, also let me know. Let me know your best time up there. Let me know your experiences up there. And if you've done them both, then how does the rendering of Alpe d'Huez compare to the real thing? Have Zwift got it right? Does it look good? Does it feel good? Not feel good. It's never going to feel good. This is obviously a lot of stuff happens here. This is Dutch corner on the Alpe. I think it's turn 6 or 7-ish. Might be 8. I don't know. Again, someone in the editing suite just leave a number there of what turn this is. I can't quite remember. But this is where it is absolute madness. You've seen the videos from the Team Sky car when it went up here. They're crazy. They camp out for days on end, and then when the riders come, they know they're in Dutch corner. It's just a sea of orange, and yeah. If I was going to go to the Alpe, that's exactly where I'd stand. I'd wear an orange t-shirt and I'd go and stand with those crazy fans. It must be such an experience going up there. Awkward silence. Once again, back to the action. I bet Froome is wishing he had a power up in real life to cotton back onto to Armstrong. I wonder what would happen in real life if this is what was happening right now. If this was genuine and they were racing against each other, what would be happening now? Would Armstrong be able to maintain that? Because don't forget, that was a time trial. That wasn't 100k into a stage. And this here, right here, you might not recognize this because it does look a bit different compared to the video footage that you see of it. But this is where Giuseppe Guarini, I believe it was, got hit by a spectator. A spectator walked out in front of him, tried to take a picture. Obviously, looking through the lens of a camera, the depth perception just changes. And he looked a lot further away, obviously. And the guy was just so tired, he didn't really have time to react and move out of the way, and ended up taking down the rider and the spectator. So imagine all that effort if he'd have not carried on and won. That would have, they would have lynched him. They would have killed him. Armstrong's around the last turn here on the right-hand side. So yeah, going back to it, would Froome have tried to maintain Armstrong's pace? Could Armstrong have maintained that pace all the way up here? Bearing in mind that they might have come into this after 100k of riding or 150k of riding, rather than it being an actual time trial. And if they actually did go head-to-head, who would win? Would you see Armstrong be able to go faster on a newer bike? Like 2004 isn't that long ago. I mean, it is to some people, but how different are the bikes nowadays compared to back then? Could he have gone faster? Could Froome have maintained it? Could Froome have stayed with him? If Froome was on the older bike and Froome was in the generation of Armstrong and Ulrich, could he have made it as a cyclist? It's all interesting. So here's a question before we get to the end. Lance Armstrong's going to finish this in around 30 minutes and 18 seconds. Who else would you like to see competing up the Alpe d'Huez? Who else from eras gone by would you like to see get pitted against a brand new rider, a rider of this era? Maybe you'd think about, well, we need to find the data, I guess, so let's not go too far, eh? But 90s, early 2000s, we could get that. So what's Armstrong going to be rewarded with after his success? Oh, he's only gone and got the wheels. Bonus. Mind you, with a time like that, he kind of deserves the wheels. So Armstrong takes it. Clearly, he was going to. Froome comes over the line in 32 minutes, which is still crazy for up there. 32 minutes, 29 seconds, 0.9. We don't really care what Froome gets. So let us know. Leave a comment below. If you enjoyed it, make sure you hit that like button. Who would you like to see go head-to-head up Alpe d'Huez? Subscribe.